fourth graders. I just wanted to make this video because every Friday I'm going to be reading from a book. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you've seen the movie, maybe you even read it. It's called Holes and it's by Louis Sachar. So I just want you to take a look at the cover. It's about someone that goes to this camp, but it's not like a fun camp. And I thought you'd be interested because it's a really fun story. It's fictional, and it's about a boy. The main character is about your age, maybe a little bit older. So every week on Fridays, I'm going to be posting a new video, and I'll ask a couple questions at the end. So yeah, without further ado, I'll be reading chapters 1 and 2 of Holes. And as I'm reading, I just want you to think about the animals they talk about at the lake, the mostly reptiles and spiders. So they talk about a few different dangerous animals, and I want you to be thinking about what happens if you were to get bitten by one of those animals, especially a yellow spotted lizard. And I also want you to think about this camp. What is this camp, and who goes there, and why? Okay? So without further ado, this is Louis Sachar, Holes, and I'll just read chapters 1 and 2. Part 1. You are entering Camp Green Lake. Chapter 1. There is no lake at Camp Green Lake. There was once a very large lake here, the largest lake in Texas. That was over 100 years ago. Now it is just a dry, flat wasteland. There used to be a town of Green Lake as well. The town shriveled up and dried up along with the lake and the people who lived there. During the summer, the daytime temperature hovers around 95 degrees in the shade, if you can find any shade. There's not as much shade in a big, dry lake. The only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. A hammock is stretched between the 2 trees, and a log cabin stands behind that. The campers are forbidden to lie in the hammock. It belongs to the warden. The warden owns the shade. Out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in the holes dug by the campers. Here's a good rule to remember about rattlesnakes and scorpions. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. Usually. Being bitten by a scorpion or even a rattlesnake is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You won't die, usually. Sometimes a camper will try to be bitten by a scorpion or even a small rattlesnake. Then he will get to spend a day or 2 recovering in his tent instead of having to dig a hole out on the lake. But you don't want to be bitten by a yellow spotted lizard. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow, painful death. Always. If you get bitten by a yellow spotted lizard, you might as well go into the shade of the oak trees and lie in the hammock. There is nothing anyone can do to you anymore. Chapter 2. The reader is probably asking, why would anyone go to Camp Green Lake? Most campers weren't given a choice. Camp Green Lake is a camp for bad boys. If you take a bad boy and make him dig a hole every day in the hot sun, it will turn him into a good boy. That was what some people thought anyways. Stanley Yelnats was given a choice. The judge said, you may go to jail or you may go to Camp Green Lake. Stanley was from a poor family. He had never been to camp before. So that was chapters 1 and 2. So Just some questions for after I read those chapters. First of all, what are you wondering still? Is there anything you're still wondering after I read those chapters? And what happens if a yellow spotted lizard bites you? That's another question. And who is Camp Green Lake for? Who goes there? Why do they go there? Does it sound like a fun camp? So why do people go there? So that was chapters 1 and 2. Since they're really short, I think I'll make one more for chapter 3 to post them today so we can maybe finish this, as there are a lot of chapters. So I'll see you for chapter 3. Bye-bye.